Hey guys, Dr. Decks here. Today we're framing away on our new deck project in Ruston, Washington. It's a suburb of Tacoma. We are just early in the framing stages. We have our massive 6-inch by 24-inch by 34-foot GLULAMS up in the air. That was an exciting day yesterday. Sorry we couldn't document that one, but we got you today, so thanks for subscribing. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon to be notified when we're putting out new content. So we were able to manage to get these beams in place. I'm just notching this one out right now because we have kind of a unique look we're going for on the outside of the deck, and I'm trying to keep the beam as dry as possible. These beams are not pressure treated, so they have to remain dry. They're GLULAMS, 5.5 wide by 24 inches deep. I ordered 35 footers, but I got a 35 and a 36 footer. So I just cut off the end off of this one right here. Made quite the thud when it hit the ground. We actually managed to set these with my Bobcat, and I had to take my forks and invert them so I could get an extra couple feet of lift. And with that extra lift, we were able to get the beam up just enough to where we could sneak it in. This one up against the house was really tricky. It took us quite a while to get installed, but we got it installed safely. Nobody was injured or anything like that, so we're really happy about that. The guys right now are cutting down all of our joists to length. I've given them a predetermined length that I want to cut our framing joists at. And then I'm going to do a layout on the beams so that they can get started on installing some of the joists while I finish cutting all the ends in. So I had to cut this one with a chainsaw because of this bracket was in the way, and I was just going to run into problems using my big oversized skill saw to cut it down. So I got a little off on the bottom, but we're going to be trimming these beams out anyway, so it's not really going to matter because, like I said before, we have to keep them completely dry because we don't want them getting any moisture. They're not designed to be wet. So anyway, we're wrapping some of it in G-tape. Other parts we're going to bladder. It just kind of depends on the location and what's being attached to the beam for fascia and that kind of stuff. So follow along and see how we do.
Well, I guess we could test it out, man.
I like it. Mark the outside of that. All right, so I have this really long piece of straight aluminum, and it's very straight. It's straighter than most pieces of lumber, and it's lightweight. So I use that piece of aluminum to square up my deck. So I use this big, it's a fold-out square made by Stanley. Volume up. Stanley makes this square. And I don't know exactly where you find it. Probably on Amazon. You see it right there. It's kind of old, but it works really good. It just folds out into a big 90-degree angle, right? So instead of using a 3-4-5, I use one of these. And I have a couple of different versions of it. This one actually shows a true 45 angle. My other one is a different, it's like a 3-4-5. And this one's more of an equal distant, both sides with the center being. The only thing you gotta look out for is right here, this can be a little loose. So if you're trying to use this as a straight edge, I always put a level across it to make sure I'm on point. I've committed to this side. I know that this beam is straight, and I know it's tight up against the house. So now I've squared up this side of the deck, so now I can cut this end, and then this end's ready to go as far as we can, once I get a layout. What I'm gonna do is cut this end in, figure out my layout, and start giving the guys some measurements so they can start hanging joists over here. And then I'll finish my layout and cutting the beams back on the other side, and then we'll just keep framing from there. So, but that's what this, that's what we just did with that plank, was squared up the end. I'm gonna double check down there after I pull some other measurements and get this other beam cut, and then we'll go from there.
So there's a little, on the helical pile, we have a little opening right here to lock the actual pile to the bracket to hold the 6x6. So the little bolt we have was a little long, so I'm taking a a grinder, grinding down the bolt to about maybe a 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. Then I'm just inserting the bolts so they don't stick out too long, so it's a prettier look.
So I'm putting in these ML24Zs.
You meant the L90s, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Had a little Friday/Wednesday brain mush and forgot. So by using this L90Z that Simpson makes, we're covering more. It's a much bigger bracket, so it's going to hold this 2x12 stronger than that ML24Z. I don't know who decided to use that. Wasn't me. Maybe it was.
So I bought this 40-foot Fat Max the other day because I thought I was at the hardware store and I'm always losing the tape measures in my truck. I go, if I put a 40-footer in my truck, I'm never going to use it on the job site because it's so big and bulky and heavy. I'll never want to carry it in my apron. And then we end up doing this deck, which is a 35-foot layout. I didn't even know Stanley made a Fat Max 40-footer, and yet here it is. And I was able to do my entire layout on this beam in one setting with this tape and just took the measurements. So I'm really grateful that I had this with me today. I probably will end up keeping this in the trailer now and then getting another one for my truck. All right, so I just finished our layout. We have this side of the beams cut. We are ready to start putting in joists. So we're gonna start doing that, and then we're gonna pin both ends in and probably the center, see how the center of the deck's doing. And then we're just gonna start running joists. Alright, so we pretty much have almost every single joist hung except for the last one on the outside of the deck and our doubles. We won't put our doubles in until we run our ladders, which I'll get into in our next video. But everything is temporarily suspended with galvanized nails. Now we're going to go back through with joist hangers, and we're going to put joist hangers on every single one of these joists on both sides because we hung all of our joists in between the beams. Once that's done, then we'll be able to start continue framing. We have some blocking to add for our rail posts, which I need to put on my list, and some V-bracing, which is going to be a separate video next week for you to watch about how we're going to sturdy this deck up. So the guys will grab the joist hangers, they'll strap those on, you've seen the videos, and then we're going to use the same technique where we're going to screw through the double shear holes in the joist hanger. We're using a Simpson Strong Tie LUS 210Z, and that's how we're going to attach the joist hangers to the beams. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it. From DJ Studio Man and me and Kiki and the crew at Dr. Decks, we want to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. You probably won't see this till after Thanksgiving, correct? But happy Thanksgiving anyways. And Merry Christmas while I'm at it, and Kwanzaa. And for all you non-believers, happy holidays. All right? And if you like what you saw or what you just heard, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to be notified every time we use a red square. And like our videos, and maybe I'll show you this square too. This is really kind of a neat one. It's called a Martinez. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.